If every US state suddenly became an independent country overnight, which one would last the longest and why? I think Oregon and Washington would merge with California before the ink was dry on the independent states document. Probably Texas or California. Texas ranks first in both energy production, oil and natural gas, and wind energy capacity. It also has the highest agricultural value for livestock and leads nationally in construction materials like crushed stone and cement. But California is California. If California were an independent country, it would possess the world's fourth largest economy. Maryland. Everything becomes a crab eventually. Hawaii. The rest will invade each other in the name of freedom. Great Lakes states would hold a surprising amount of power with having access to largest amount of fresh water in the world. Mississippi would be a Mad Max hellscape within 24 hours. Nations don't have to survive without other nations. Trade is a thing. The lowest GDP in the States is Vermont at around 40 billion. The smallest independent nation, Tuvalu, has a GDP of 80 million-ish. Military defense may be a bigger issue, but again not much point in trying to take 40 billion by force, especially if the neighboring nations are offended by it. NATO exists of independent nations. It wouldn't take a minute to see something akin to it form among the independent nations of America. I'll go against the grain and say Alaska. A lot of very self-reliant citizens with survival skills and a lot of investment opportunity for their oil industry. California. People argue about it non-stop, but if US states became countries tomorrow, California would wake up as one of the world's largest economies before breakfast. New York. Unlike Texas and California, New York isn't running out of water anytime soon. Unlike Florida, it isn't reliant on internal migration and federal disaster relief to exist. The things grown in New York are things normal people want to eat, and not crops paid for by federal ethanol subsidy or destined for pig feed in China. California has the economy. Texas has the resources. If every state became independent tomorrow, I'd bet on one of those two lasting the longest. Minnesota would just say, "Hi Canada." Probably the donor states like New York, California, Texas, etc. A lot of red states would be in deep trouble and would have to ally themselves with donor states to survive. Without California and New York, Louisiana and Mississippi would be Liberia. Idaho would 100% become a Christian Taliban state. Georgia. Well, really just Atlanta. Okay, the independent free state of Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. California could probably exist and thrive as an independent country tomorrow. NYC, with New York State's resources, could exist as a city-state like Singapore or Hong Kong. Texas too could probably exist as an independent country based on resources and population. The question is which would / last / longest, not which would do the best, so I actually think it might turn out to be Oregon. The population is relatively small, the climate is mild, it's self-sufficient in agriculture, and there's abundant hydroelectric power. No oil fields or refineries, though. Michigan, and other Great Lakes states. We have all the fresh water, and the production means to defend it. Plus underrated agriculture, we can feed ourselves. California. It has food and oil and a larger economy than most countries. It has military bases including Edwards AFB and the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, meaning it has most of the means to build its own air force in addition to the naval bases in San Diego. California also pays more in federal taxes than it receives, so it would be in pretty solid shape. https://california-is-donor-here's-how-much-to-here's-what-it-gets-back/forward/the again. The Bay Area has the tech industry, so there's a non-zero chance Musk, Till, SND the tech bros try to turn CA into their libertarian technocracy paradise instead of following their silly seesting dreams. Massachusetts, been around a long time. California, the fifth largest economy in the world plus agriculture and tech. But a lot of people are sleeping on the Great Lakes states. Having 20% of the world's fresh water on your border really helps when the rest of the country has water problems. Droughts are becoming more frequent. Midwest aquifers and reservoirs are drying up. The Great Lakes are still Great Laking. Ohio. You guys don't even know. The Great Lakes area would join together under the banner of Megasoter, as the prophecy foretold. This new nation would control the largest source of fresh water in the continent, plus the headwaters of the Mississippi River. The poor southern states would gather their guns, start wars with other states. But I think they'd get crushed. California and Arizona would probably fight over whatever Colorado River water is left after it leaves Colorado. LA gets maybe a third of its water from the Colorado River. California, though, has really strong agriculture, natural resources, and infrastructure as well as major shipping ports. California, wealthiest, nosy populous state, has friendlies to the north, fish to the west, and desert to the east. California wins all of it. Not even close. Probably California or Texas. Both have huge economies, strong infrastructure, and energy tech independence. Most smaller states would struggle fast without federal-level systems and trade support. California, New York, and Texas are all pretty much self-sustaining to one degree or another. Probably California, Texas, or NY. California has natural resources, population, size, and would be the world's fourth largest economy. They are big enough that auto manufacturers for a while were implementing standards that were stricter than the EPA in order to be able to sell cars there. Texas similarly has a strong, diverse economy and even has its own power grid, although we've seen how well that went a few years ago. That said, a lot of their economy comes from the oil and gas industries. It's strong now, but how viable is it long term, as in decades, not years, with renewables starting to catch up, and will they be able to diversify before, given how stubbornly they cling to it? A lot of it also comes from the federal government with defense and aerospace contracts that may dry up if Texas were independent. NY is the global financial hub through NYC, but also has strong agriculture and natural resources upstate.